I think in life, things like, I don't know if they happen for a reason, but I think there's always kind of a reason why things happen. That's kind of why I saw the garden as an opportunity, is because it was something that didn't exist, but something that I could kind of create. So I am Mr. Berry. I teach 8th grade math at Beacon Park. So I got into teaching it's kind of a long story, I will say. I started out after college and I went to work in corporate America. It never quite felt right to me. It didn't feel authentic, is what I would say. I found myself doing like web design, web development work, and I decided I really like coding, I really like programming, and what I realized is I really fell in love with math. And right after I finished my degree in computer science, I decided I would go back and get a teaching credential, and I would try teaching. Once I started teaching, I loved it, and so here I am about 10 years later now, maybe actually more than that. These things are passion fruit. There were a couple other teachers who tried to kind of get the garden going, but actually had not accomplished it. And I definitely have a strong sense of pride about kind of getting it going. Just because it seems like, when you think about your math teacher, I think you just think about someone who just wants to do the numbers and that's it. And I think for me, I'm someone who likes to do a lot of different things because I think it would be better to try something and fail than never to try it at all. I never thought of myself as a creative person until I started to program. And I think many people probably don't see like the creative aspects of programming, but it's taking a blank screen and making something happen. You start with a blank screen and then you end up with a final product. And honestly, like if I was not walking past that garden every day, I may not have ever done anything with it. So I think like the serendipity of like that is because I was just walking by this thing where there was nothing in it. It was like the blank screen. It was the canvas that you could kind of paint on. And I always kind of wanted to kind of try to grow something. I think that the student involvement was key. And to me, that's what it was there for, because it's our garden. It's like on our campus. And so they are welcome to kind of come in and kind of pull a fruit off the tree. I mean, I think that's why I created the garden, not for myself, but for everyone. I don't think I was certain whether I could actually grow something or not, to be honest, because I had never done it before. So once it actually came up and it started to grow, my goals were to kind of get as many people involved as I could. I kind of knew that like if I was out there after school digging around in the dirt, people would start to be like, well, what's Mr. Berry doing out there? Like, well, why is he digging around in the garden? And that kind of like action would kind of invite other people to kind of come and join. And the other thing is I always thought it would be fun for students to actually get out there, get their hands dirty and see the plants growing. I mean, that to me was like the key part too, was that they could see the fruits of their labor. And there are certain students that are always out there, like every day they're kind of out there running around. There's kids like grabbing up little lizards and kind of doing those kind of things and looking around. Little kids, big kids, every day they can walk by and say like, hey, I planted that plant over there. Long term, I think students will be able to come back, years from kind of finishing school and see like, hey, that tree that I planted is still there. I mean, I think that's pretty cool. I didn't officially kind of step down from being in charge of the garden. What happened is that I had a school year that was really busy and really challenging. And so I really did not have the time or the bandwidth to kind of like dedicate to the garden anymore. I kind of walked out to the garden and saw Roberta out there planting stuff. And so she loved gardening and really had all these extra plants, she said, at her house. And so she came in with her own vision for what the garden could become. And organically, she just kind of dropped in at the right time and started planting stuff out there. And then I think she saw it as an opportunity to use as a resource as well for students who kind of needed a little extra kind of time, maybe a safer space, a quieter space. So I didn't officially step down, but other people kind of stepped up, is what I would say. One person could not create a huge garden like that. Like it's something that definitely required a team of people in order to kind of do. That's the thing too I like, is like it doesn't need me anymore. Like now it's good, like it's here.